They thought it was a shotgun. And he goes, "You're dead." He opens his door. In my mind, they had a weapon.
We know that Jordan probably was giving Michael Dunn lip because Jordan felt he was defending himself, which we've always taught him and trained him to defend himself, which he would do verbally. But we absolutely know without a doubt Jordan never would have threatened to get out of the car and institute any bodily harm on Michael Dunn.
So will we see a verdict today in the Michael Dunn case? Jurors have been deliberating now for 17 hours and 44 minutes. Dunn's defense attorney has said it's going to be a tough decision. Michael Dunn may spend the rest of his life in prison. But will it be a tough decision? Let's not forget the victim in all of this. That is Jordan Davis. You just heard from his mother. She tells us a little bit more about the real Jordan Davis, whose life was cut so tragically short.
He was always wanting to be the first, always wanting to be the leader.
You recording? Huh? You recording?
He was a social butterfly, and people just gravitated to him. He was never the kind of young man that wanted to date. He would always say, "Oh, no, Mom, girls, they're too much trouble. They get mad at you too easily. No, I'll just be friends." Calling me and talking to me about Aaliyah, I thought, wow, this is very interesting. This is the first time I've ever heard him be so interested in one young woman. She must really be something.
We had a good, friendly relationship at first, and then we started dating.
She's a straight-A student, Mom. She's a cheerleader. She holds down 2 jobs.
Yeah, he was athletic. He liked sports. He played a little baseball.
Humorous, fun-loving, jokester. This was actually the night before he was murdered, in his bedroom in Jacksonville with his friend Leland. This was the very last picture we have of him.
It's so heartbreaking to see and to hear from his mother and father, by the way. 17-year-old Jordan Davis have been in that courtroom listening to the brutal details and also having to see Michael Dunn on the stand. Now the jury has the case. It's up to them to decide what happened on that day. Do they believe what Michael Dunn was saying, that he feared for his life and that it was self-defense? You're looking at a picture outside of the courtroom where the jury is right now. 17 hours, 46 minutes. Joey Jackson, also Trinity back with us. Trinity, what do you think in terms of believability with Michael Dunn on the case? Will the jury go back and talk amongst themselves about what they think happened that day? Because that is really the focus of this. Was he in fear of his life? Did he believe that Jordan Davis had the shotgun that, by the way, nobody has seen, no firearm was found, that he feared for his life on that day?
Yeah, my guess is a big part of that is what they're discussing back in that jury deliberation room. I mean, they're taking that statement that he made, which is one of the first statements to the police about what happened, how the whole thing, went down. They're taking the statements he made to his fiancée, what she said on the stand. They're taking into account his actions. I know we talked about it earlier, but just how he acted after the whole thing, the pizza, the rum and cokes, the watching a movie at the hotel, fleeing the next day. I mean, they're going through all of that. And then obviously his testimony on the stand. How believable was he when he was on the stand?
And Joey, him saying, well, I wasn't really hungry. I didn't order the pizza. My fiance had an upset stomach. I don't know how much the jury is buying that one, that you don't call 911, you don't call the police. You said you're waiting until cops come around that you may know, and then you order a pizza in a hotel room.
Yeah, the problem with the pizza, Susan, and the reason I believe it's so problematic is because it just demonstrates a nature of callousness and disregard. And, after firing a weapon, regardless of whether you knew someone was hit, you didn't know someone was hit, the mere trauma of that, and then there's a gun that's pointed at you, allegedly, according to you, and you're hungry after that, and if your stomach's upset, the first thing you're going to do is get pizza. It just doesn't sit well. And then, of course, the leaving the scene, and it just doesn't comport with general human behavior. Now, I know, Susan, in anxious situations and in stressful situations, we all react differently. But a reasonable person under those circumstances, it would be hard to believe that they would react in that way. And that's what the defense really has to get over. And perhaps the jury is really evaluating that as well.
Right. Instead of sitting back eating a pizza, you would think you would call 911 or call someone and tell them about what you've done. We, of course, are going to continue on Verdict Watch now, heading into our 18th hour on this in terms of the jury and deliberations.